What is good, all of our listeners and viewers? Welcome to another episode of Games and Groceries. My name is Adam.
And I'm Liz.
And I'm addicted to coconut pie drinks. Hello! We are at episode 82, where we're going to go over our 2020 gaming prediction of the gaming industry, but we got some other segments for you before we get into that one. So, Liz, how you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay. Just okay.
Yeah.
It's better than not okay.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's just been a long day. It's been a long couple months.
I mean,
I know I've been saying that for a while, but it really has.
it really has. I mean, just this week, but right before we recorded this, right before we hit that record button, I was just telling Liz off camera, like, is it just me or does it feel like forever since we recorded a podcast? And it's only been a week. It's been a long week.
It's been a long week. Like the fact that there was actually Christmas this week between all the crazy.
I know.
Is insane.
I went to bed Christmas night and saying like, oh, Christmas is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was our day off. Back to like we both had work Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas. So we just had Christmas Day and it went by way too fast.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I have off the day after New Year's. I'm pretty sure. I need to double check, but I'm pretty sure. Whereas
I don't.
I don't think you do.
I'm pretty sure I don't.
They'll probably have you work.
Yeah, probably work like extra.
You'll work the extra early shift. You'll be in at 7.
Well, because like here's the thing about my current job is that it's a diner, it's a restaurant, so everybody needs to eat. So while everybody is like, oh, we have a day off, why don't we go over to the diner?
Yeah,
And
it's like
Christmas Eve was nuts.
Yeah, it's a busy diner in general. And now, not only is it the day after a holiday, everyone has off, no one wants to cook breakfast or they want to do something special, they're all drunk.
Well,
the day after New Year's.
They weren't drunk, they were hungover.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. The day after New Year's, or New Year, like on New Year's Day, they're all going to be hungover and they want that greasy food to soak it all up.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're probably going to be working.
So welcome to Games and Groceries, everybody. So we got some segments for you. That's just a little bit of our lives. Segment number 1, how's your life? Pretty much.
Yeah.
But before we get into our first segment today, we just want to remind you, because we got a lot to talk about today. A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But right before we go into that, we're going to go into our social media accounts. You can find us on Twitter at Gaming Groceries, or you can follow us individually. I'm at Ace the Grocer.
And I'm at Journey First.
And so you can follow us there and be friends with us there. And, you know, just be best friends with us. That would be cool.
Besties.
You can also follow us on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word, where you can follow us and check out some behind-the-scenes photos sometimes. And check out, you know, Midweek Speak Question. So every single week I will post on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. Search for us on Facebook, a certain question, and I want to get your opinion about it for the Wednesday upload. So definitely check that out on the social media pages. You can also check out our website, gamesandgroceries.com, where you can listen to all the audio versions of the of the podcast from the website, as well as find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the podcast on the website, as well as some articles. I promise I will write some more, because a lot of people did reach out to me and they did enjoy the little article where I interviewed the developer behind I Am Jesus Christ, that video game that was announced. So that was pretty cool. And then finally, if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell, so that you know when all these podcasts do come out, as well as our Midweek Speak, our Let's Plays. So definitely consider that. And if you're listening to only audio version, definitely consider leaving us a review and subscribing us to wherever you listen to us, so that you know when all these podcast episodes come out. So with all that said and done, let's just jump right into it with our first segment,
Movie Minutes.
Movie Minutes is a segment that we talk about the movies that we saw in the past week, and we like to rank it at 1 out of 10, and we like to recommend it, or we don't recommend it. And we've been doing Christmas movies since earlier November.
Way before Christmas.
Way before Christmas. But we want to do the little aftershock of Christmas right up until next week, next Monday, which is my birthday, 12th day of Christmas, everybody. And we got a Christmas movie this week and also next week. But instead of jingles like we've been doing for the past few weeks, we're just going to rank this as a movie now.
Yeah.
We got the Christmas movie, but then we're going to transition back into regular movie minutes. But we're going to rank this as a film 1 out of 10. So this movie is called Christmas Time, and it's on Amazon Prime. And it said that it starred James Murray of the Impractical Jokers. Little spoiler
they
alert.
just used his name.
Yeah, he showed up in like 2, maybe 3 scenes.
2 scenes.
2 scenes.
Yeah.
So it does not star James Murray.
They used his name because no one else in that movie had a name.
So Liz, opening thoughts about Christmas Time. Or My Brother the Time Traveler. There's 2 titles.
Yeah, there's 2 titles, which is strange.
Mm-hmm.
But at first I didn't think it was going to be very good just because the quality was kind of low.
Yeah.
You could tell it didn't have a lot of funding.
Right.
Like their most expensive item was James Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So
ferret.
I didn't. Yeah. And they actually did reference the ferret, which I think is hilarious. By the way, if you don't watch Impractical Jokers, you need to just get on that. It's on True TV. If you have the channel, you should be watching it. It's hilarious.
Woo.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So that's where he's from. He also has some books. But anyway. So I didn't think it was going to be very good. But the story wasn't bad. And the execution wasn't bad.
Yeah.
So it was actually impressively good for the quality. Because usually when you see low quality Christmas films, they're like a struggle to get through.
Yeah. No, true. Yeah.
Like we said, look at Christmas Rush or Holiday Rush.
Holiday Rush.
Yeah, Holiday Rush, because that had a big couple,
It had Netflix money.
Yeah, it had Netflix money, but it also had some decent named stars in it.
Oh, yeah.
Because the main character, I think, was on... the
let's say
one
on point.
with Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
The thing with the girl.
Let's say on this movie, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you don't I didn't expect it to be that good, but it was actually I would say it was impressively good.
Mm-hmm. So I have 3 notes here, and we'll discuss it from there. But the first note I had is that the movie actually sets up everything that you need, not only with the characters and the plots, but also the mood of the movie. Within, I want to say, the first 10 minutes, first 10, 15 minutes, you get to understand the actual atmosphere of the movie's universe.
Mm-hmm.
And what's good is that it keeps you engaged in the story rather than what a lot of Christmas stories do, a lot of Christmas movies do, which is, let's say it together, everybody, exposition.
I didn't know what word you were going to say.
Exposition. So, but it does keep you engaged in the story, which I very much appreciated about this movie, is that you know all the characters, and there's only 3 main characters besides James Murray. James Murray is just off. But there's 3 main characters.
Yeah.
There's not a lot you have to keep up with. And the plot is pretty simple.
Yeah.
You have this the older brother.
Yeah.
The older brother, very successful. And he has a wife. He's married. He's doing his own life. But then his little brother thinks he's a time traveler, and he has this like kind of mental disorder. Everybody like it kind of like already says like, well, he thinks he's a time traveler. All this stuff.
Yeah.
But the older brother is seeing the psychiatrist, James Murray. So you get to see the mood that it's going to be a psychological movie.
Yeah.
It's going to be dealing with mental illness.
Yeah.
And you see that within the first 10 minutes. Would you agree that it keeps you still engaged though?
Yeah. Like I said, the story was actually pretty good. In the beginning, I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm.
And the one plot twist type thing, I actually thought it was going to be something else. So they did a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, no spoilers here. No major spoilers with this. Now the second note I have is that the humor. There is humor to this. It is kind of a comedy.
It's cute. It's like a cute funny.
And that's the thing. I would say I wrote down my notes a semi-British humor, but I want to say an Americanized British humor. Whereas British humor, it's dry. I don't want to say it's cutthroat. What's the word I'm looking for? But it's self-deprecating.
Yeah.
So British humor is a lot more different from American humor. So I would say this is an Americanized British humor where it's dry, it's to the throat, like it's very morbid.
Yeah.
But it also has that Americanized humor in it. So I think a lot of people who don't like British humor will actually appreciate this film's humor. I still think, because you're not really one for British humor.
I don't really watch a lot, so I can't say.
Yeah.
I only watched it that one time when we were in high school with you.
Are you talking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail?
No, I never saw that.
Are you talking about John Cleese's How to Annoy People?
No, it was the Faulty Towers.
Oh, Faulty Towers. Faulty Towers is amazing.
I know, you and your mom love that show.
But you didn't really like it too much.
I wasn't like blown away by it like you two are.
But you appreciated this movie's humor.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it was like a cute humor, like to me. Like, I don't know, I think it more resonated with my type of humor.
Yeah.
Because I do edge on that like drier,
Yeah.
self-deprecating.
Well, it's Americanized British humor.
Yeah.
It's not completely British humor.
Yeah.
But it's Americanized.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But you thought it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that it still kept the plot going.
Mm-hmm.
It would still played its part. It didn't try too hard to make you laugh.
Yeah.
But it was a very situational humor that the plot kept going without it stopping dead in its tracks to try to make you laugh. It was very situational.
Yeah.
And I appreciated the way it kind of executed its humor.
Yeah.
And my final note is that overall, when you get to the end of the film, it has a very strong message about mental illness, dealing with depression, caring for somebody who has an actual clinical depression, not just, seasonal affective disorder or, everybody goes through depression, but I'm talking about clinical depression.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about how to care for somebody and the dangers of trying too hard to care for somebody. And it dives into a few issues that I want to get into, because it's mild spoilers.
Yeah.
But there are issues that this movie does pick up.
Mm-hmm.
And and in my other notes, forgiveness and moving past grief. There's a lot of things that this movie kind of touches on.
But it's not a serious movie.
It's not a serious movie at all, but yet it handles these issues very well, actually. And it's only an hour and a half. So it uses... Man, I'm going to have to raise my score up a little bit. Because I wrote down, well, I'll get to that in a minute, but it uses time management of this movie very well.
Mm-hmm.
I think this movie executed every single point it tried to do within its time limits. Would you say so?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get into final ratings. What do you think about this?
So I had you write down a 6, but I think I might up it to a 7.
I was just about to do that, yeah.
Because, like I said, the quality wasn't good, but it kept the movie going. It was funny, and it did actually surprise me at a couple points.
Yeah.
Like the little end part that kind of told you like what's going on.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the one little twist.
Yeah, I try not to get spoilery.
I try not to do spoils, but let you know what I'm talking about at the same time.
Yeah.
So it actually did manage to still surprise me.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, like I said, it's impressively good. Like, it actually surprises me how much I enjoyed this. Because, like I said, I told Adam in the very beginning of the movie, like, I don't think this is going to be very good.
Yeah. You have to push through, because I think the first 10 minutes... You have to get through
the first 10 to 15 minutes, and then it actually gets pretty good.
The movie's actually better without James Murray, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I could have done without his character. He was there for, like, a couple funny parts, and that was it.
Yeah. If James Murray was taken out of this movie, I think I would have liked it a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Because his scenes were just kind of...
pointless.
Yeah, like, look, we got James Murray.
We didn't need him to play that part.
Right. So, getting into mine, I originally gave it a 6.5. I want to raise it to a 7 or even a 7.5. Just because it was a decent film.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I'm raising it to an 8. Sue me. Because an 8 in our
minds...
mind...
you guys really have to watch it.
Because an 8 in mine, 7 is decent. 8 is a solid movie. And I think exactly, like, the direction behind this movie and every single issue it tried to pick up and touch on, even the humor, it's everything that it tried to do in the direction. I think it was a solid film It did exactly what it set itself out to do. I give it an 8, quite honestly. And it's only an hour and a half.
It's definitely not a waste of time.
Definitely not a waste of time. If we're rating in jingles real quick.
If we're getting into Christmas.
4.
Yeah, I'd say 4 or 5.
Yeah. It's not too much Christmas, but it's definitely a plot. But
oh, yeah. It's definitely part of the story, and it works well with it. Yeah. So 4 or 5 jingles.
So those were our thoughts in Christmas Time, which is on Amazon Prime. It also goes by My Brother, the Time Traveler, I think it's called. But it's very solid. I recommend it. So, but yeah. Let's move on to our next segment with our next segment.
Top 3 Gaming News.
Top 3 gaming news is the gaming news that we saw in the past week, and we'd like to rank a 3, 2, 1 just to give you a condensed version of what's happening in the games industry. So we got 3 gaming news. It was kind of a slow news week.
Well, it was Christmas.
It was Christmas. Indeed.
So, I mean, you don't expect.
Yeah, a lot of it was like, oh, anybody who got an Xbox, here's the best games. That was the gaming news piece.
Exactly.
And plus, most news articles, they're probably on break.
Yeah.
But we got 3 gaming news pieces, and let's start with number 3. Speaking about Christmas, Fallout 76, how you doing? Haven't talked about you in a hot minute, but Fallout 76, an atomic minute.
What?
Fallout 76 hackers, they actually went into a lot of people's accounts and actually stole, if not most of their inventory, all of it. They just went in to public servers and took all of it. The game has had a lot of bugs in the past year. 2019 coming up into a wrap, and a lot of bugs have made their way to Fallout 76, if I say so myself.
Yeah, Fallout 76 is just one giant bug.
Yeah, and to make matters worse, just right before the year ends, we get this new hacker group, or just one person, I don't know, going to public servers and emptying everybody's inventory on Christmas Eve, or the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas Eve. So right before Christmas, right before the holidays start, inventory gone.
Yeah.
Now let me just read this one quote from the article linked down below. It says, Bethesda says it's actively working on a solution and is also looking for ways it can compensate affected players, as the hack is only hit PC. It's only hit PC, not consoles. It's planning on bringing the PC version of the game offline to release a fix, but whether things get sorted this side of the fast approaching holiday remains to be seen.
Yeah.
So good news, it's only PC. Bad news, your inventory's gone if you're on PC.
Bad news, it's another strike against Fallout 76 and Bethesda.
Yeah.
This is just not how Bethesda needed to end the year.
No, it's not. I mean, we're going to talk about Bethesda in our 2020 gaming predictions, so we'll leave it at that. But if you're on Fallout 76, if you're on PC, just beware.
Check your inventory.
Yeah, and if it has affected you, write it down in the comments below where you compensated, what happened to you. Write it down in the comments below.
Let us know what happened.
Yeah. But let's move on to our number 2 gaming news. So this is actually pretty exciting, is that the Rainbow Six creators are moving on to other Ubisoft's projects. So let me bring this article up because I have their last names written down, but not the first names. Go Adam. So the game has been out since 2015. And it's just sparked a huge community, including myself. I love Rainbow Six Siege. It's an excellent play. If you haven't played Rainbow Six Siege, it's always on sale, especially the Ultimate Edition, and you get all the characters onto it. It's worth a buy. Definitely. I play it from time to time. But yeah, the original creators, Xavier Marquise and Alexandre Remy, are leaving to pursue other projects at Ubisoft, which is pretty exciting for them.
Yeah.
But before they left, they actually trained a new team to actually push the game forward. Now, they've said in the past, these creators have said that they want 100 characters in the game before they even think about a sequel to this game. So it makes sense that they're training a new team before they move on because there's not 100 characters in the game.
Yeah.
And plus, we know that there is a Rainbow Six Quarantine coming out to next generation. And even more so, let me just get into this quote that I have here. So this is coming from the new team over at Rainbow Six Siege. It says, this upcoming core team will cover all aspects of the game, the full scope of everything about Siege. This is going to be one of the strengths of our core team. We will start expanding the game universes. If you look at player experience, we need to stop thinking about the exclusive features and start implementing inclusive features. What I mean is that we need to deliver content that will impact every player and the whole community. What do you think?
I think that's a definitely different look at it. Like everyone's thinking about like, oh, exclusive so that we make more money. But it's nice that they're not even thinking about that. They really just want everyone to be able to enjoy the game and be together. So I think that's nice. It's different and it's nice.
I'm excited to see what they mean by expanding the game universes.
Yeah, like maybe, I mean, I don't know how Siege works, but maybe like making it like flowing through instead of having like, all right, you play this game and you get this.
Yeah.
Platform. Well, like you know what I mean?
I would like to have more game modes in the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Because when you log on, you play multiplayer, it's either, bomb, hostage, or the biochemical, I forget what it's called, but it's just the three. I would love to have more multiplayer features and more multiplayer games to have in it. That'd be pretty cool. But this quarantine is a PvE. It's a player versus enemy instead of PvP.
Yeah.
So that's expanding on the game universes. So that's the thing. I would love this game to just really reach out and just become like even bigger of a game. Like not having the official Rainbow Six Siege 2, but just having the same game,
but with more to do.
Right. And I'm really excited for this. You yawned.
I'm so sorry.
But I'm really excited for this as a Rainbow Six Rainbow Six Siege player. I know Wombat is from CADcast.
Yeah.
I messaged him saying, "Hey, you want to play Rainbow Six Siege again?" And he hasn't
never
answered. We played once, and then we're not friends anymore.
Maybe he doesn't like you.
Probably because I called him Raccoon, and he's like, "I'm Wombat."
You called him Raccoon?
No, I never called him Raccoon. Never.
I was gonna say, like, what?
Magic. But yeah, if you're on Rainbow Six Siege, write down in the comments down below. What do you think they mean by game universes?
Yeah.
By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to this on iTunes, write it on Twitter, or just go on the YouTube channel and write it in the comments down below.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely. What do you think about expanding the game universes? Are you looking forward to the quarantine, the Rainbow Six Siege quarantine that's going to come out in 2020? I'm really excited for it to be one. Yeah. Oh, and it says that Rainbow Six Siege will be a part of. Well, it already said that Xbox Series X is going to be backwards compatible with all Xbox One games. So it says it's going to go right forward, and like nothing's going to change. It's just going to go forward into it. So that's really exciting.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it. I wonder if there's going to be a re-release. That would be crazy.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, but I've always thought that. But I can say that into another one.
Anyway,
but moving on to our number one gaming news.
Yeah,
we're kind of breezing through this actually, the gaming news, but that's because the gaming news that I found. Is it really?
There's not much to comment on.
Not a lot of discussion.
News.
And that's the thing. Like, I was going through some of it, and I mean, the NVIDIA boss. I didn't put this in the number one, but the NVIDIA CEO said, like, "Oh, guess what? The GTX 2080 it's going to be more powerful than next gen hardware." It's like, this just in: PCs are more powerful than consoles. What a shocker! And Review Tech USA actually made a really good video about it. Someone who's more PC gaming than I am. If I remember, link up here. If you're watching the YouTube video, he actually makes some good points about how that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be officially more powerful than consoles. And he made some good points. But in my mind, when I read that, I'm just like, shocker. Wow. But yeah, linked up there if I remember.
We'll see.
We'll see. Go Adam. But the number one gaming news is that Sony has filed a new patent for a new controller in Japan. Because the patent is in Japanese. Link down below, by the way. In the article, link down below. But Sony has filed this new patent for a new feature on the new controller, which actually explains a previous release. Because in December 17th, so a couple weeks ago, Sony introduced this back button attachment to your DualShock controller, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I was going to put it down on, I think, last week's, like, oh, it has a back button, and it was just such a weird.
Yeah, you weren't sure what it was.
Yeah, it's not a weird attachment, but it's just kind of like they release it a year before the next gen comes out, and it's not weird, but more you just see it and like, why?
Yeah.
Did you see pictures of this, by the way?
Yeah, you did show me, or I saw you making the thumbnail.
PS4 back button. And it was like this... I
don't know, I didn't see the actual. I just saw like the blueprint.
Yeah, no. That's for the patent. But it's this back button. It attaches to your PS4, and there's two little buttons that you can just like, assign to any button on the PlayStation 4 controller. And it's fine. It's a fine product. It's just kind of like, why?
Yeah.
Why
it
release
doesn't
this?
seem necessary, especially when they're coming out with next generation. It just doesn't make sense to me to put the money into doing that.
Well, that's where we come into this article, because PlayStation 5 has not, Sony has filed this patent for a controller and a feature on it. If you're watching YouTube, I actually put it, or Liz did. Liz put up the image. Right in the red squares there. What is that?
Buttons.
On the back of the controller.
Yeah.
Oh, now that I'm looking at it, hold on. Because a lot of people are seeing this image and just saying that, like, oh, this is going to be a PlayStation 5 controller. This is going to be a PS5. There's going to be back buttons built into it. This is definitely PS5 because there's a USB-C link to it. That's part of it. But why in this image is there a light bar?
Maybe there's a light bar in the new one.
No, they are confirmed that they're taking away the light bar to save on battery.
Maybe they forgot to change the blueprint.
That's possible.
Maybe they just forgot that part.
Well, it's just interesting.
I mean, I doubt it, because it's PlayStation. Like, it's a pretty big company to make that big of a mistake. I don't know. I don't know. Because again, that's what I mean. Like, as far as the attachment for the DualShock 4, it just would make no sense to me why they would put the money into building this product for a controller that, yes, you can still use with your PS5.
Right.
But why would you put money into making something for a PS4 controller instead of just putting it as built in on the PS5 controller?
I mean, I guess...
Like, especially if it's unnecessary. Like, if they're necessary to play the next gen, that's one thing. Yes, we need those attachments on the PS4 controllers for them to work on the PS5. But if they're just ones that we can assign to whatever we want, then why?
It is weird. Like, this whole thing is just weird. I mean, everybody's trying to say that, like, oh, they're just taking inspiration from the Elite Xbox controller.
Yes, and I thought of that too.
But it's just kind of like... I don't know.
It just seems so unnecessary for the end of a generation. Like,
but then
you get a year with it.
But then, like, if the PS5 controller is going to have two built-in back buttons, or like back, I don't know. It's just strange all around.
Yeah.
Like, just the look of these on the patent, it's just kind of like, oh, okay.
Well, the patent's kind of a mess.
But this could be the future of next generation. I still remember when the original Xbox buttons, they were just the white and the black buttons.
Yeah.
there was no shoulder buttons. And then when we got the 360 and there was these shoulder bumper buttons, like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it just made life so much more convenient. This could be the future of controllers.
What I'm noticing is that one side of it is 13B, the other side is 13A. So I feel like different directions do different things. Like, I don't think it's a bumper. I think it's a switch. Not a switch, but like a trigger. That's what I meant, like a trigger. Like, going this way means one thing, going this way means the other.
Maybe. That is interesting. I don't know.
And you'd have to do it at the same time because they're labeled the same thing. This is just...
Well, the patent is in Japanese. I don't read Japanese. If anybody does, write it down in the comments below.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Like, what do you think about this patent?
Yeah.
It's just interesting. If anything, it's just really interesting to look at and just wonder what is to be. But yeah, quite interesting. I like it. I think this is going to push the future of what game controllers actually do and what they look like.
Yeah.
It could be permanent. Like, all controllers here on out are going to have these back buttons. But I guess we'll see in the future.
Have a handle on the ones we have now.
Oh, yeah, true. But write in comments down below. What do you think about this patent? Do you think this is going to be the future? Do you enjoy that there might be just built-in back buttons? Write it down in the comments below. I want to hear all of your thoughts and any of your thoughts. So, but that was the top 3 gaming news. Not too much. It was kind of slow. So hopefully it picks back up in the new year. But yeah. Speaking of the new year, we're actually going to be talking about our 2020 gaming industry predictions. Now, I have 6 written down below. We're just going to talk about it. And just have a nice little podcast discussion about our 2020 gaming predictions in our final segment.
Coffee time.
Every single week here on the Games Groceries podcast, we like to talk about certain gaming industry topics, such as female gamers and game preservation. And we just like to bring it here in this section of Talkie Time. And with the new year rolling around, with 2020 coming into play, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to predict. There's a lot to just discuss. This is our first kind of prediction episode, so maybe in 2021, we'll take a look at this in the future and see if we were right or wrong. So I have 6 gaming industry topics that I just want to touch on a little bit. Not like, deep dive.
We're not going to go deep, but
yeah,
just some little nuggets of knowledge.
So prediction number 1. I predict that next generation consoles will release next year.
You're an idiot.
Oh, darn
I can't stand you. You're so stupid.
So we know for a fact that 2020 consoles are coming out. Like, the next generation's coming out. Xbox Series X as well.
Whatever the PlayStation. Oh, no. The PlayStation 5.
The PlayStation 5.
God.
So these consoles, just speaking about Series X and PlayStation 5, how much do you think these consoles are going to cost?
Okay, first I need to know, how much was the Xbox One on release day?
500? I want to say 500.
Okay. So
because that included the Kinect. And then PlayStation 4 was 400.
Okay, so then I think...
Now, keep in mind that Xbox One X released $500 just with this system.
Okay.
And I believe also the PlayStation 4 Pro.
I think the Xbox... because that's its name, it's Xbox.
Yes, just Xbox, because...
I think Xbox is going to be $650.
$650?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'll discuss that in a minute.
And then... So the PlayStation 4 was $400?
I believe so. And PlayStation 4 Pro, I believe, released $500. Let me just get my facts straight. Actually, let me use my phone because it's more convenient.
I think the PlayStation 5 is going to be between $550 and $600.
$550 and $600?
Yeah.
Okay. Why is that?
I mean, if you look at the market today, you know that they can and will put their prices up.
Mm-hmm.
They both keep saying that it's the most powerful console they've had.
Oh, wait. PlayStation 4 Pro was $400 when it released.
Okay, so yeah,
Wow.
I would say $550.
And I know that Xbox One X was $500. Interesting.
Anyway,
Okay.
so I think you have to go with the times,
Wow.
money,
Wow.
things and stuff. They
Yeah.
got to make it more expensive. But also, I think they're going to be closer to the 600s because they're both saying that these are the most powerful powerful consoles yet, and they got so much going on with them, so much new technology, which I know every generation is new technology, but more new technology costs more.
Yeah.
So I think that has a lot to do with it, and I think that they're like, we have so much power going in this thing, we can get good money for this, and I think it's gonna cost them a pretty penny to have these new technologies in it. So that's why I'm thinking closer to the 600s for both consoles.
So I agree with you that technology gets more advanced, it gets more expensive. However, these gaming industry, like the game platforms, they actually take losses in building their consoles. And I agree. Well, here's the thing. It's expensive. If it was just retail price, the Xbox Series X would probably cost $800, $850.
Well, yeah.
But they take a loss for it. And we know, okay, so let me get into PlayStation 5 first. If PlayStation 4 Pro released for $400, I'm going to go $500 on the PlayStation 5.
I just thought maybe they would make it a little more, just because if Xbox they know is going to be so expensive, because Xbox is expensive.
Yeah.
If they know that's going to be so expensive and they can still make more, even keeping their price lower.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't have that much faith in humanity.
Well, see, here's the thing. I'm going to predict that PlayStation 5 is going to be $500. Now, there's the rumor that Xbox Series X is going to be two consoles, Xbox Platinum and Xbox Rubber Ducky, as per our last episode. But that's the thing is that or the episode before that, whatever.
I feel like we haven't just talked me and you in the longest time.
I know. Well, it's been a long week. No, it was last week. So Xbox Rubber Ducky. But there's going to be two consoles. And I believe Xbox Platinum, like the big console, like the console that we saw at Game Awards.
Yeah.
I predict it's going to be $550 or $600. But then they're going to come out of nowhere. Like, this is going to be after Sony says that it's going to be $500, and people are going to be like, what? $550 for this console or $600 for this console? But then they're going to come out with Xbox Rubber Ducky. It's going to be the all-digital edition.
Yeah, and it's going to be cheaper.
It's going to be $300.
I think you're expecting a lot from Xbox.
I think it's going to be $300.
I would say maybe $400 or $500.
I think Phil Spencer's in it for the cutthroat game, and he's going to screw over PlayStation. And yeah, you can get the more premium.
Screw over his customers, because that's what he does when he names Xbox Xbox.
We'll see.
Remember last time you had faith in Phil Spencer?
Well, here's the thing. I also predict that this generation is going to go to Xbox. I think Phil Spencer has the vision. I think he has just from Game Pass. Just from Game Pass alone, this man's vision to fix the Xbox brand is just beyond ridiculous, and he's in it for vengeance. I think that he's going to come out running, and Xbox is going to take this generation.
I think PlayStation will always win.
Not in the previous generation, not PlayStation 3. That was garbage.
Yeah, that's why no one talks about it.
Exactly. Xbox won that.
Still.
But here's the thing, though.
PlayStation.
I think they're going to come out $550 with Xbox Platinum, and Xbox Rubber Ducky is going to be $300.
You know why I think that PlayStation will take next generation?
Why is that?
Because what happened in the way when we first started talking about next generation?
Yes.
PlayStation came out with their specs first.
That doesn't mean anything.
Well, I'm not done.
Okay.
So they came out with their specs, and everyone was so blown away by the specs of their next gen.
Right.
And then Xbox came out, I think, a month or two later, and it just, to me, and I remember talking about it, I think we mentioned it, it just felt like they were like, but look what we can do. Like, it just seemed like they were already trying to compete with PlayStation instead of trying to make a good system. They were trying to compete.
Now,
And
see,
not in the same light. So that's where I think because it just feels like Xbox is going to focus too much on trying to beat the PlayStation 5.
Right.
That they're going to miss something.
okay, I see what you're saying. I still have a gut feeling that Xbox is going to take this.
Well, this is why we have a PlayStation and Xbox, because you like Xbox, I like PlayStation. So
Yeah.
this fight could go on forever.
Well, since it's going to go on forever, let's go on to my next one. Speaking of the next generation, we're not talking about a certain company in the console market, which is Nintendo.
Yeah.
What are the chances that Nintendo Switch Pro version is going to come out this year? Or actually even 2021? What are the chances it's going to come out in the next 2 years?
What do you mean by Pro version?
So like a next generation
okay.
kind of like follow up. So we all thought that the Switch Lite was going to be the Pro,
Yeah.
but
and
then like
wasn't.
it came out with
Which
the
I was
Lite.
glad, because it was way too soon after
Yeah. So do we think that Nintendo's going to follow up?
with
By-
the new generation.
Yeah.
Like they did with the Game Boys. Like
Yeah.
how it like revolutionized almost.
Sure.
Like you had never mind.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. Like yeah.
Like a next generation Nintendo Switch. Or think about it like this: the PlayStation 4 and then the PlayStation 4 Pro,
Yeah,
the
no,
Xbox One,
Okay.
and Xbox One X.
Well, I don't think they'll do that because they have the Lite. That was the Lite.
Right.
So if there's a Pro version or a next generation,
Yeah.
if they do that, I
Yeah.
don't think it would be till 2021.
Okay.
Because they literally just came out with the Switch.
Yeah.
And the way my brain works, it was just like literally yesterday.
It was.
And it was probably, I think it was almost a year ago.
What, the Switch Lite?
No, the Switch.
No, the Switch Lite came out
No,
20.
the Switch.
Yeah, I know.
You keep saying Switch Lite.
Did I say that?
Yes.
The Switch came out 2016. Hold on.
Oh my
Keep
God.
talking.
No,
Keep talking.
it? Okay.
I'm going to look it up.
because that was okay. So I feel like it was just yesterday. But then they came out with the Switch Lite just this past year. And I just feel like to have something like a new generation already.
2017. March
I was gonna say
2017.
16, that was way too long ago. 17, I believe, because
Yeah, March
the
2017.
past 2 years just went by way too fast.
Mhm.
But so they just came out with the Lite this past year. So
Yeah.
to have a next generation already coming out in 2020,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's a little too soon.
Right.
And they haven't really talked about it. And I feel like if something was going to come out in 2020,
Yeah.
we would have heard more about it by now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if they're going to have a next generation, the soonest will be
2021.
beginning of 2021.
Now, see, here's where I disagree, and only by this reason. I think my actual prediction, no, I don't think it's going to come out with the Switch Pro.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're just going to just have the Switch Lite.
Yeah,
That's going to be family.
That's what I was saying. Like, if they even do it.
But if they are going to do it, it's going to be in 2020 because here's one factor that everybody forgets. Nintendo is the king of left field.
This is true.
They always just come up with the most
Like,
bananas.
oh, by the way, here's a console.
Exactly. Like they always come out of nowhere and just
Yeah.
drop news on you and
That's
just like,
true.
where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
And I think because Nintendo has it MO,
Yeah.
I think they're going to announce it in an April Nintendo Direct.
You don't
And-
think they'll wait for and the words are gone.
E3?
Thank you.
Nope. They're going to drop it in April because they know that if they don't drop it sooner than the next generation consoles, they're going to be
You
lost.
think that they're going to drop it?
No. They're going to drop the announcement.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm like, you think they're going to be like ready to go in April? Okay, yeah, the announcement. Okay.
Yeah, I think if they were to do it, it's going to be in April 2020. It's the announcement and release it in November or even October, probably.
If they make a next generation. Okay.
I think that's what's going to happen. So let's move on to another
Okay.
game streaming. talking about Google Stadia, talking about xCloud, talking about the PlayStation 5, all this. Do you think game streaming will get a major push in 2020 or get just a light launch? Almost like when VR first came out.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, oh, it's a thing. But do you think it's going to get a major push right out the gates?
See, that's a hard one. I have to go with a light just because I know I'm not like quite as avid on like Twitter news and gaming Twitter as you are, but I do follow a lot of video game podcasts, video game news, entertainment news and everything. And I don't see a lot of people talking about Stadia, a lot of people talking about the stream, like having streaming only preference. Like I just don't see it. It's not talked about. Like Stadia was just released and you just don't hear about it.
Yeah, no, you don't.
So that's why I feel like if there is any push,
right,
it'll only be a light impact. I don't think it's going to suddenly be like everyone's streaming.
Right.
I don't see it, at least not right now. If it does become like a heavy push, it might be towards the end of next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my opinion.
I think it's also going to have a light kind of launch in the similar fashion as VR. Game streaming, sure, has been around with PlayStation Now, but at the same time, it's just like it still needs to earn its ranks with gamers. Because not a lot of people are convinced with game streaming. Not like Brian McGinnis is.
Yeah, Xbox is really trying.
Yeah, with xCloud.
Yeah.
From what I hear, though, xCloud is pretty crappy. Even in comparison to Stadia.
Yeah.
Which I still haven't tried. I still have a buddy code.
Which, I mean, that also goes towards why we think it'd be a light push because it's still... They're still working, like the industry is still working out the kinks of how it can work.
Yeah.
Especially in areas that don't have great internet. You know, you have to work out those things. So I think that's why I think it's going to be light because I just don't think we're quite prepared for it yet. I don't think technology is quite prepared for it yet.
Yeah. No, I don't think our internet infrastructure is going to be as solid.
Maybe in other countries.
But I think by the end of 2020... we're going to see like a much higher push. I think Stadia is really going to push out here's another prediction. By the end of 2020, Google Stadia will have 3 solid exclusives. Solid, not like Guilt that they just released.
I can agree with that.
I think they'll drop 3 solid exclusives for the Stadia platform.
Yeah.
And that will be the major push.
Yeah.
At least 3. I'm not saying 3 and then they stop. At least 3.
Yeah.
And then xCloud, I don't think it's going to be a success. I think xCloud is going to be pretty rough. If
it's a success, it's going to be a while. But this year is not going to happen.
No. But that's my real prediction for game streaming.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be a major push, but I think that Stadia is really going to come out of the gate 2020. And it's going to be... Here's the thing. Stadia is the first platform right out of the gates, and that has the advantage. They dipped their toes in, and now we're going to see them strive.
Yeah.
Speaking of striving and also failing, Bethesda Game Studios, not Bethesda Softworks, where it has, Arcane Studios, all that. Bethesda Game Studios. Will Bethesda Game Studios in 2020 make a comeback as an RPG juggernaut? And I'm talking about Starfield. Will Starfield come out in 2020, and will it be the comeback that they so desperately need?
Nope.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Why is that?
I have lost all faith in Bethesda.
What? Like, give me some reasons.
Go back and watch any episode this past year of our podcast, and that is my every reason. Just the second 76 release, it has been downhill for Bethesda.
Yeah.
And anytime they try and get back, they either step on their own foot,
right,
or someone punches them in the gut.
Yeah.
For something they did.
Right on.
So I just don't have faith that they're going to release a good game.
Yeah.
And if they do, I mean, I don't think they will. But if they do, I think it's still going to take a little time for people to trust them again.
Yeah.
Because the second Starfield has a glitch, it's going to blow up.
Yeah.
And it's going to be big news.
Yeah, the Bethesda... What's that?
Just because the second someone sees a glitch in Starfield, they're like, oh, it's 76 all over again. So that game has to be perfect for them to get a comeback from it.
Bethesda glitches don't have the same endearment as they once did.
Exactly. And
like Skyrim glitches were funny.
Yeah.
Now they're just like, okay, this is starting to get like stupid.
Yeah, especially after 76 and just with how buggy and messy, and they fixed it and it broke something else, and then they fixed that and it broke something else, and then the old bug came back. I just feel like Starfield will have to be the perfect game. No glitches on release. It is the perfect game on release. It is finished on release.
Yeah.
For them to get any form of comeback. And even if it is absolutely perfect or even near perfect, I still think it's going to take time for people to be like, all right, 76 was just something weird that happened in the company.
Right.
And we're never going to talk about it again, even though Bethesda keeps bringing it up like it's some great feat or something, which is just annoying. But anyway, I just think Starfield will have to be a miracle for them to get any form of a comeback from it.
Okay, so number one for me, I do think that Starfield is going to be released 2020. I believe it because...
Yeah, I think they've been working on it for a long enough time.
They've been working on it a long enough time, but we also have insiders saying that the game is fully playable in studio.
Do you think they'll release it like at E3, like one of those things where they're like, and you can play it tonight?
No. Not a tonight launch, but maybe
week of.
No. Okay, so it's in June, September.
Yeah, I was gonna say November.
Yeah, September. It might be a day of like. It might be a launch title for the next generation in November.
Oh, yeah.
That's probably what it's going to be.
It can be one of those things that you get the new console with the game that comes with it.
Yeah, it could be a launch title along with Halo Infinite. Here's another hot topic. Next generation games are going to have a big focus on sci-fi games.
I like that.
Yeah,
I
2020.
can get with that.
Yeah, like 2021. So 2021, like following next generation, it's going to be a main focus sci-fi games.
Okay, well, we can talk about that next year.
Yeah, that will be a next year thing, but that's my hot take. 2021, going to be main focus sci-fi. Or even, okay, you know what? I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it here on the podcast. 2020 is going to be the year of major sci-fi titles. It is going to be a sci-fi year. And I think there's a lot to say, like with Starfield, Halo Infinite. We're going to talk about this with Cyberpunk 2077. Sci-fi is going to be a major push in 2020.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. I think that Starfield is going to drop in 2020. It's going to be a release or like a, release with the new generation consoles. And I think it's going to be a highly rated game. Not perfect, not a 10 out of 10. It's going to at least get an 8 by most critics.
Okay.
That's my heavy prediction. I do not think, though, that it's going to be the comeback. I think it'll be a step in the right direction, and people will start to dip their toes back into Bethesda once again.
I agree. I think that it'll be a decent game. I think it's still going to come with your typical Bethesda glitches. But I also think that the second there is a glitch in that game, it's going to be a mess for Bethesda just because I don't think it'll be a mess with that. I think someone's going to say, oh, it's 76 all over again.
Yeah.
The second there's a glitch in it because that's their rep now.
But I don't think there's going to be many glitches. I think they're taking full care with this game.
You have more faith than I do because I've lost all faith in Bethesda. I loved them for a long time for you because you're a Bethesda fanboy, but 76 has just... I can't anymore. I can't support them. They've disappointed me. And I don't even play their games.
I think it's going to drop. But let's move on to... We talked a little bit about E3. Let's move into the fifth topic at hand. will we see a drastic change in E3 2020? We've already had like little spark notes of like a presentation to make a drastic change, but us like physically like watching it right now, will we see a drastic change in E3 2020, and will it actually be the end of E3?
Well, I hope it's not the end of E3.
Well, what do you predict?
I don't think E3, I don't think it'll be the last E3.
Yeah.
I can't kind of see E3 phasing out within the next year or so, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it'll be a drastic change.
Okay.
But I do think we'll see a difference. I think we'll see a little bit more presentations presentations by celebrities.
Yes. By who? By what celebrity? My girl Aisha Tyler.
Alicia Tyler?
No.
I'll have to look that one up.
Poor Aisha. My girl Aisha Tyler.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
my girl.
No, I mean the celebrities in the video games, not just some random celebrity.
Aisha Tyler.
She has to be in a video game. Anyway.
Ooh. She'll be the new Keanu Reeves.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But I think you'll see more of that because that definitely got a lot of attention for
right.
I forgot the number.
Okay.
Cyberpunk
2077.
Yes, that got a lot of attention for that game. So I think you'll see a lot of other studios falling in line with that idea.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think so that's what you're going to see. I just think you're going to see just a difference in the presentations. Not different presentations, not more flashy, not less flashy. Just it'll just seem different. And you're not going to be able to put your finger on it. You're just going to be, that was just different. That was a different E3.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to be drastic. I don't think it's going to be like, what was that? It's just going to be like, what was that?
I think it's going to be a drastic change from what we possibly knew about E3. That presentation that we saw, the presentation PowerPoint slides that we saw in the past, I think that's going to come into fruition, and it's going to be a celebrity in like YouTuber kind of event. It's going to be more flashy. I think it's going to be a less focus on the presentations and more of a fan service business deal kind of conference.
But I don't understand what that means.
It's not going to be a showcase. It's now going to be a trade show.
I still don't understand.
Do you know what a trade show is?
Not really.
Okay, a trade show is just like it's a bunch of vendors and like business deals go down.
Okay.
Whereas a showcase is just presentations and panels and all this stuff.
So really E3 won't be anything that's televised anymore.
I don't think so.
You think it'll just be something that you have to buy tickets to see?
I think it'll still be televised. I think the panels will still be on. I still think there will be. I still think there will be things from it that I think will be televised. But I think there's going to be a less of a push of those presentations, of those panels moving forward, and it's going to be more of a celebrity and influencer and sports fanatic kind of thing, because LeBron James is going to be there for sure. Like LeBron James is going to be one of the celebrities. Will it be the last? I don't think it will. I think E3 is going to live on, but just in a different
manner.
And I think the push is now going to be on the hands of PAX, actually. PAX is going to be the new E3. Because there's a lot of announcements dropped in PAX. There's a lot of panels held at PAX. I think PAX is going to push forward, and that's going to be the new E3.
So you think PAX will get higher in popularity?
I think so. I think 2020 is going to be that shift. It's not going to be like PAX is going to be the new E3, but I think 2020 will be the shift.
Yeah.
Into
like it's not going to suddenly happen, but over the next few years you'll see it.
Yeah.
Dwindling.
And what I also predict, instead of PAX East and PAX West, you're going to see a PAX Summer and PAX Winter. There will be two conferences, and that will be the shift. This is a bold prediction. This is a hot prediction. This isn't like a confident one. This is just kind of like, instead of PAX East, it will still be PAX East and West, but it'll be PAX Summer, PAX Winter.
Yeah.
And I think PAX Winter will take the place of the Game Awards in terms of announcements, and the Game Awards are going to focus more on awards,
so.
and PAX is going to handle the announcements.
Oh, I hope so. I hope that's not wishful thinking.
Yeah, it's wishful thinking. I think it's a bold prediction. It's a prediction nonetheless.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a confident one. It's a hopeful one because I'm tired of all these announcements dropping in Game Awards, but I think PAX...
Can we please shorten Game Awards?
Because PAX Winter will be where the Game Awards drop, and Game Awards are just going to be about the awards.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So let's jump into our final prediction. 2077, Cyberpunk 2077 to be exact. Will this be the ultimate game of 2020, very similar to Red Dead Redemption in 2018? In terms of like, it took
Just
over.
dominate.
It just dominated. I'm not saying it will be Game of the Year, much like Red Dead Redemption 2
Yeah.
did not win. But will this be the major game of 2020?
I think if it's done well,
Yeah.
it has the potential.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, I think it's definitely an interesting game. I definitely want to play it.
Yeah. I think it drops in April, doesn't it?
You're asking the wrong person.
April.
I have the worst memory. I get so many games confused. But I'm thinking of the right one. But I think it
April
looks,
16th, 2020.
Yeah. So I think it's flashy enough. It's interesting enough. The story is catching.
It's got Keanu Reeves.
It's got Keanu Reeves. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So I think it has a potential to dominate the year.
Yeah.
I don't think it'll win Game of the Year.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
just because if we're comparing to Red Dead Redemption, I think it'd be the same situation. Depending on what else comes out.
Oh, little side note. I'm finally playing Sekiro.
Good job.
Yeah, it was Game of the Year this year, so
Yeah. But
I'm playing it now.
But I think depending on what comes out, I don't think it'll win Game of the Year. If the rest of the year is just bad, then probably Game of the Year. But I'm not like betting on it.
Yeah.
Because it depends on what else comes out. But I think it has a potential to be like a big topic.
Yeah.
In gaming conversations for 2020. So, especially since it comes out in the beginning of 2020, it gives you the whole year to talk about it and play it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think it has potential because it looks so interesting. And I remember when the trailer came out in E3, everyone was just like blown away. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thoughts.
So I also think that it's going to be a major game. Much like I'm looking it up. Oh, I forgot Last of Us 2.
Is that Animal Crossing?
Yeah, Animal Crossing is coming out in March.
But those are humans.
What? No, what? Whoa,
Those
what?
look like humans. Oh, well,
You played
Yeah, I know.
together.
Whatever.
Anyways, but that's the thing. I think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be your major release.
Oh, that one looks super cute.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Have you played the original one?
No.
Oh my goodness, it raises your blood pressure.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to play that.
Yeah. There's a tree level in Ori and the Blind Forest where I swear to you, I almost had like an aneurysm.
Yeah, I don't want to play that. I want to play the new Animal Crossing though. That looks so fun.
Oh, of course, I'm going to get that day one. But I think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be your major talked about game. It's going to be the Red Dead Redemption 2 of 2020. But much like you, I don't think it's going to win Game of the Year. I don't think so. What I think is going to win Game of the Year in 2020 is probably going to be Last of Us 2.
I think that's definitely potential.
Yeah.
That looks good too. Tell me why.
Tell me why.
That looks really interesting.
That's going to... Okay, bold prediction. Tell me why is going to be your Game Awards Games for Impact.
Okay.
Tell me why it's going to be...
I can see that.
Yeah, it is going to be the winner of Games for Impact.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think Last of Us 2 is going to take it. So I think your nominees are going to be Cyberpunk 2077, Watch Dogs Legion, of course.
Yeah, I just passed. I was like, that was one I definitely wanted to play.
Ghost of Tsushima. Untitled Goose Game 2.
Oh, goodness.
But you got some major drops here in 2020.
Yeah, definitely.
Psychonauts 2 is going to come out, but all of these games are going to drop. But I think all of the fear is going to go into Cyberpunk. It's going to be similar as the 2018 Game Awards, where it just dominated.
It took almost all the topics except Game of the Year.
But I think Game of the Year is going to go to Last of Us Part 2.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Because that has a really big following.
I do not think Ghost of Tsushima is going to win Game of the Year. I think, okay, so major talking point. Ghost of Tsushima is going to drop, and I think people are going to enjoy it. I think it's going to be a very highly rated game, but nobody's going to be talking about it at all. I don't think it's going to be nominated for Game of the Year.
Okay.
I think it's going to be.
That.
I think it will be the winner for Best Action Game.
I can see that.
Oh, dang it. Last of Us 2 is going to be an action game.
Yeah.
Dang it.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah. But I think Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be the major feared of game. Like, it's going to be the yardstick. Even Starfield, if it drops, people are going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah.
As Game of the Year nominee or Game of the Year winner.
Yeah.
But I think Last of Us 2 is going to take it's going to take the cake.
Yeah.
So I think we can end it there, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we thank you again for listening to this week's episode. These are just some of our predictions, but we want to hear your predictions down below. This is releasing Monday, but we're releasing a midweek speak on Wednesday of some of your gaming topics or, your gaming predictions. So look forward to that. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about that on Wednesday, but we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Again, we're on social media at Gaming Groceries. We're on Instagram, Games and Groceries, all one word. You can find us on Facebook as well, but you can also check out our website, gamesandgroceries.com, where you can listen to all of the podcasts from the website, as well as find out where you can listen to the audio versions of the website. And if you haven't already, definitely hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, so that you know when all of these episodes come out. And if you're listening to this on the audio version, definitely hit us up with a review, an on-star rating, so that we know how we're doing. And also subscribe to us on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. So with all that said and done, thanks for listening this week. We hope you have a wonderful week. See you next week.